Welcome to another episode of At Home with Patrick Ahearn. Today we're going to look at a property in Hunting Valley, Ohio, the oldest house in the town. And at one time it had been an inn, it's had a number of additions on it, and the current owners are asking me to take a look at the outside and how we might improve it, make it a little more interesting, but within the spirit of the house itself. So today, I'm first going to focus on the front exterior, and the house is all white right now. It doesn't have any differentiation between any of the wings of the house. The house needs shutters. The primary gable piece in the front of the house really needs to be redetailed architecturally, in that there's an interesting Palladian window, but none of the trim on that house is strong enough to tie into the arts and crafts, oversailing eave elements. So I think we need to be thinking about redetailing some of the window trim and so on. We definitely want to add shutters to the windows wherever we can, which will help with the solid to void relationship of the house. I would love to see a wood roof put back on the house. I think that would add a lot of character because the house is very long and linear. There's a recessed covered entryway, which should also get new coach lights and more period lights. There's a funky gutter detail that runs around this projecting element that I think the gutters should be converted to copper gutters and leaders and downspouts, which would help. And there's also this recessed wing of the house that probably should be filled in as a covered porch for the first floor, and it provides a wonderful terrace on the second floor. There's 3 long, thin columns, and by introducing the porch at the second floor, it gives you that antebellum 1880s imagery of the house, rather than looking like it's a piece of a tooth that was missing on the house itself. In addition to that, there's a simple iron railing that runs along the walkway. I don't think it really serves a purpose. I would eliminate that. I would also redetail underneath the bay window on the first floor with some new panels that will make it more interesting and give it a little more character to the bay window at the front. And I would also look at the landscaping, in which we can better define the entryway and also screen some of the wings so they read more secondary than not. I think that's important. So when we looked at this recess on the first floor, there really is this opportunity, and based on some historical photographs, there was this basket weave kind of a railing system that had been on the front of the house when there was a porch. So we want to reintroduce that detail, albeit in a different way, but do it as it helps infill this piece with these really tall, thin columns that on their own really don't look very well. So by doing that, and then further adding more shutters on the windows that are there, and then a long flower box under this triple window that's in the recess, and then all the new landscaping in the ground plane, I think we really get something very special. So that was the philosophy. This now represents adding a beaded board ceiling in color and a hint of blue, sky blue, which was traditional in the 1880s. The Essex green shutters with pins and holdbacks, the window box. So that really completes that ensemble of that wing to the right. When we talked about the front of the house and some of the ideas, I think you can see in this imagery how the house starts to come alive, and there's a lot of push and pull back and forth in the facade. I think it really could become very successful. The other piece that we were asked to look at is there was a drawing area, basically a side yard off of the kitchen. And it really has a utilitarian function, but I think it could be a wonderful place that gets a lot of sun and be a place you could have an outdoor dining table and a garden and really change the paving materials, get rid of the aluminum door, get a nice screen and storm door, new coach lights, and really a nice iron gate that enters you into the courtyard space itself, and all new pavers, and a series of garden flowers and things that help define that space. So rather than a throwaway secondary space, make it a space that you would actually use and entertain in and enjoy it for yourself. Go out and have breakfast outside, etc. So that's a snapshot of what I think we could do in this property in Hunting Valley, Ohio. And thank you very much for the participation in At Home with Patrick Ahearn. I look forward to seeing our next episode shortly. Thanks again.